I am Dee Dweller, and we are trying something completely new. We are going to play the new Trading Outpost mode, and we are going to do this story mode style. And what I mean by that is our cast of characters that we are going to play with, we're not picking based on the right balance of skills, but rather we are going to go with the three sisters who have their unique quirks and qualities. So we're going to treat this as a family business on the Desertum region. Moon Concordia, difficulty hard, and seed is called Row Effect. Rules big family. That is the only altercation that I made to the rules. So let's go ahead and begin. Trading Outpost does more of this for its landing rather than the crash landing scenario animation. We're going to be dropped off in the desert because we're playing desert mode, and then they're gonna have just the one gun, and I'm gonna find that laser pistol and figure out who to give it to. So we're gonna pause for a second. So Katina, who is one of my favorites, I do really like Katina. She is great at healing. Listing, it looks like there's a little bit of a different layout here than with the crash landing scenario, and so let's take a look at these. She is a light eater, gets hungry twice as slow. I'm pretty sure that's consistent with other play modes. Can't fail in medical treatment. That's what we were talking about before. So she's an impeccable healer. That's why I really like playing with her on the stranded survival mode. Farm owner. So this is kind of new. We are going to have partial ownership of this farming outpost. But let's take a look at our other character traits here. Krista, also a crowd favorite, is very smart. She's got the genius trait, has occasional insights that will boost the current research progress, which is super handy. She is clumsy and will not do any crafting tasks though, so we cannot count on her for any kind of crafting, whether that's tailoring or the workbench. And then with Paulette, now this is kind of what I was inferring earlier. Paulette is not really a go-to when it comes to selecting characters in other play modes. We don't really see a lot of love for Paulette. If you have love for Paulette, let us know down in the comments, because you would be probably the first I would have seen where somebody's actually championing Paulette as a character in this game. She has neurotic personality. She's partial farming owner. Her favorites are smoking. But skill-wise, let's take a look here, because we have cooking and crafting with Paulette. Good, because Crystal won't craft. For this sake, if not for any other reason, we might find room in our hearts to love Paulette a little more. Cooking is also a 4. I mean, that's very good to know. Krista, again, intellect high, crafting incapable. She also has a 3 in farming, which is good. I'm gonna need all 3 of these girls realistically to be willing and capable of farming, so that's good. There's a 1 on Paulette. There's a 3 on Krista farming, and Katina has an interest in farming but starts at a 1 as well. What we're not seeing here that is going to be a real issue for us in early game is a lack of crafting and combat skills. Krista has a little construction with a 1, 0 combat. Paulette is also combat 0, but also combat indifferent, as well as construction 0. So Krista, surprisingly enough, is going to be our builder at the very beginning here. And if Krista is building, I think I might want to give the gun to Paulette. I don't want to give our primary weapon to our healer, because if she is on the brink of death, who's going to bring her back? So I think I'm going to make Paulette our armed forces for now, at least for early game. So she's going to pick up the gun. Oh, and before we get too much further into this, I did say that this was going to be a little bit story mode-esque. So let's take a look at their actual bios, right? We need to know, who are these sisters? What is their relationship one to the other? For Paulette here, not only our least favorite, but also the least favorite of the 3 sisters in canon as well. Her story begins like this. She's a runaway housewife, the eldest and the least favorite of 3 daughters. Paulette left home early and married a wealthy but domineering lawyer who always put work first. After years of feeling lonely and neglected, one day she simply decided to take off. Her family never understood why she left a man who provided for her financially and did not welcome her back home. Now she is always on the move, driven by the need to support herself and a desire to escape the ghosts of her past. Well, she's not going to be able to do that here. Perhaps they can just build a better future. With Krista, she is a cybersecurity analyst. After making her mark online as a so-called positive hacker, Krista was hired straight out of college by the Federal Intelligence Agency. She quickly became disillusioned by the agency's questionable ethics and began using her skills to siphon modest agency resources toward righting the wrongs of her employers. Eventually, she became too brazen, and when a conspicuously large anonymous donation landed in her sister's holistic health nonprofit, the agency got on her tail and Krista jumped on the first ship leaving the planet. I am curious though, which sister had the holistic health nonprofit? I'm gonna assume it's our healer. So let's go take a look at Katina's backstory. Holistic physician. Who could have predicted this? Katina was a teenage fashion model with good prospects, but her life changed drastically after battling stress and chronic back pain. She quit the modeling work and studied medicine, determined to apply a holistic approach to her patients and make sure that everything in their lives was taken into account. That is the story of our three lovely ladies. It's not quite the Brady Bunch, but we work with what we got. The goal is to build a very profitable outpost and then make enough profits to purchase the rights to the entire planet. Here we go. Let's take a look at our seed here, because this is a beautiful desert seed. It is one that if you watched my seed video, it was suggested by another commenter down in the comments, and I just was jaw-droppingly impressed when I checked out the seed in my most recent seeds video. I do have another one coming out here soon, but not today. And I just really wanted to play on this seed, but I didn't want to have to start over my Desert Dome region playthrough, which was ironic. I'm not going to tell you why. If you know, you know. This was the perfect opportunity, starting this new story mode, to jump on the seed, and so I have, and that's what we're going to do. So beautiful. I would like to move us toward the water, so we're not going to stay down here. We're going to pick up and go. So I'm literally going to pick up and move this down here. So let's grab that, and we're going to put it right there. Is there a lot of stuff on the ground? I feel like, do we have to pick up? Okay, we're gonna be hauling things for a while. We're gonna have to pick up all this stuff and bring it to our relocation. So I'm gonna unpause, let the girls get started on what they need to do. Meanwhile, we are going to set up a camp here, and we're gonna need some stockpiles for them to haul all that stuff to. Starting with some shelves, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put in some stockpiles. And we're going to change the permissions on these to only store construction materials, because we are going to have those other shelves that will hold everything smaller than a construction material. So we're going to copy these restrictions and apply them over here. All right, that should get us going, get us on our feet, and then hopefully the ladies will start moving everything over here that needs to be moved over here. And oh, and of course bedding, can't forget bedding. So let's drop in here a couple of beds. I think we're going to need to build ourselves one more of these things, just so that we can sort of box in our other bed, our third bed. And while we're at it, if we're gonna build another one of these, we might as well extend our stockpiles as well. It's kind of a heavy ask, but they're already getting on the job, so that's good. I'm just gonna let them do that before I start setting up a research queue and a cutting queue and a mining queue and a scavenging queue, all those queues. So before we can really take advantage of all of this and start observing these things, we're gonna need to haul all that. So I lied to myself. I'm already setting up research queues because I'm clicking on things. But back to business over here. We're going to pull up our management tab, and I'm first going to adjust the schedule, and then we're going to jump into tasks, because we really do need to delegate who's responsible for what. So we're going to need that too. Krista is our only one construction. That's good. That's kind of what we wanted. I'm going to take hunting off the table for a second. Planting. Since Krista's doing construction, I'm going to clear all of these off her plate except for harvesting. I'm going to leave that. That's fine. She can do that if we need her to. Scavenging. If she's constructing, she's not scavenging. I think I can leave mining for now. Cooking, we'll circle back to that. Observing, she is really smart. We want her researching and observing so that we can get those breakthroughs. So I'm going to take her off of handling and delivering so that we can kind of make construction, research, and observe her main tasks, which means I'm also taking mining off here. Katina is our healer, so we're going to leave that on there. I'm going to give Paulette cutting and mining. So I'm going to take cooking off of her tab since she's going to be cutting and mining. And that gives me Katina harvest, ranching, planting, scavenging, cooking, crafting, tailoring, and assembling are coming off because those are Paulette skills. So we're going to leave that on here for Paulette. She can help with observing, she can help with research, and she can help with delivering. Coming back down here to Paulette though, I need to take planting and ranching off of her plate. I'm going to leave harvesting for all 3 ladies for now. Scavenging off her plate if she's doing our mining and cutting, which she is. So now that we've got the simple priorities sort of sorted, let's put them in numerical order. All right, so I think here we're looking good. This is fine. We'll work with this for now, for the ladies. And hopefully each task will get the attention it needs from one of the 3 sisters. Paulette's over here. How much of our material has been transferred? All of it? None of it? Some of it? So Paulette's gonna eat. After she's done eating, I'm actually gonna ask her, oh no, available storage. So there we go, we're off to a great start. Paulette, before you go to sleep, please haul these. Katina already went to sleep, but I'm gonna ask her to do a little haul as well. And then Krista, I'm gonna interrupt your research just to have you bring some stuff in too, because I just really don't wanna leave this stuff out here, because they will deteriorate over time. And okay, with this new sort of like business mode playthrough style, we are starting off with 30,000 of these galactic coins. Pocket change to play with here at the beginning in case we decide we want to hire some help, which is also an option. Just not going to jump on that right this second. We're just getting a bare minimum setup going on here that we absolutely just have to have. And hopefully she can get to her bed from here. Let's go to camp. Let's pick up. It makes me so nervous every time we do this because I try to keep it as close to their bedding as possible for cold nights so they can stay warm. But tell me that does not make like your nerves hit, you know, a little bit frazzled seeing a straw bed that close to a fire pit. It's unsettling. It does not feel right, but hasn't caught fire yet. So I guess we're fine if we do this. Let's go over here to to science and add ourselves a research desk, because ultimately that's going to come in handy. We're going to need to build one of those. Let's also give ourselves a table for, you know, eating this food that we're going to cook on this campfire that we haven't built yet. Supply-wise, we are looking at 15 first aid kits, and we have ourselves 58 emergency rations still TBD, to be hauled. TBH, I guess? TBH, to be hauled. Yeah, 37 emergency rations still sitting here. Krista's gonna try to construct that. And I guess Katina is already hauling these. So we're gonna let her do that while Krista gets busy on that construction, which I do want her doing. I don't want to interrupt that because we need her to build up that skill set we need to get to the next level construction. And she's the only one that has basic understanding of construction with her level 1. We're gonna lean into that as hard as we can and try to bump that up by having her construct the rest of this stuff that really needs constructed. And I guess that means we also kind of need a fence. So maybe we could ask her to do a little bit of fencing as well. No, see, this is what I'm talking about. With her having a level 1 construction, we cannot even construct a stone fence because she does not have, like, no survivor right there in red print. No survivor has the required skill to construct even a stone fence for defense. We're going to level her up somehow. Maybe we can have her scavenge this so that we can hopefully get some more scrap metal so that we can then make this desk, because we need her to construct something else. Of course, we could also try cutting some trees down. I'm gonna select these ones. I'm gonna give it to Katina right now. I know this is all out of order. They all had assigned jobs to do, but I am shuffling them a little bit just based on what task needs done right now. Because I'm thinking we don't need to make this desk out of scrap metal after all. We can just make it out of wood as soon as Katina is done cutting some wood for us. And there we go. Just like that, we have ourselves a new resource, wood. Also, we've discovered tea balls, which is terrific for making tea. Go figure. While we're here, I'm gonna start queuing up a few other things that we could be building for the time being, just to give her something to build, which includes this chopping block, I guess. So we'll put that there. And since this is right here where we're camping out, I'm gonna go ahead and add that to our research queue as well. So this thing, if you're not familiar with this, if this is new to you, is the trading pod, and we're able to contact outside entities but for different like purposes. So we could post a job offer, like I said, and burn through our 30,000 coins that we currently have. We can contact all these different types of contacts will want to trade different things and put different values on what they're trading. But right now I'm not ready to use that yet. Fast forward a wee bit. Oh yeah, mushrooms. Let's study those too. Have we finally brought in everything we were supposed to bring in? No, we have not. So when she's done sleeping, I'm gonna cue her to bring in, which is now, bring in these first aid kits. All right, it looks like that's it. Besides those first aid kits, I believe that they've brought in the rest of our original stash and should mean that everything we have at our disposal is at camp. We're gonna hopefully be able to resource right from here and not have to go on like a walk. If you're ever getting those notifications that you can't reach something, it might be because you've selected, like, say these rocks here that are in the water and set them with a task that are inaccessible to the characters. They can't make it to where they are. So you just gotta kind of find them, unselect them, untask them, I suppose. No queued research. Okay, so preference is always to do lightning rods first, just because I do not want my characters being electrocuted. It does some permanent damage that will potentially slow them down. Let's also select safes, because I feel like, see, look, like Krista had a research insight already paying off. She has discovered how to do lightning rods. So that if we do hire somebody, hopefully they won't steal our money. I think that's how that works. Hay sausages, since we do have hay as a resource, and then tailoring, since we do not have a tailoring bench quite yet. We need that. I'm gonna also add metal refinement to our queue, and weaponsmithing, because we're gonna need it. Paulette cannot be the only person armed long term. We're gonna need to do something about that. Actually, I'm gonna remove hay sausages for now from the queue because we have more pressing matters like construction basics. We're gonna add those as well. How are the girls getting along, by the way? So Katina and Krista, it appears, are getting along just fine, but already Paulette and Krista are having some bad blood. Krista has a -10 feeling towards Paulette, and Paulette for herself has -40 feelings towards both of her sisters. So remember when we were reading her bio and it was like, oh, she wants to escape the past and, you know, start new. Yeah, I'm sure that's not really helping improve her mood at all. Who knows? Maybe she'll come around. Maybe we'll all learn to live, laugh, love together. Hypothermia, Krista. Okay, so this is kind of like the situation here where we're talking about things are going to get a little chilly and we're going to want to keep them warm by keeping the fire close by. I think what this means now is I'm going to have to actually move this desk closer to the fire. It looks stupid, okay? I know that. I know how dumb this looks, having all of this pinched together like this, but it's so that I can keep them as appropriately insulated as I possibly can in the early stages in the situation that we're in. If Krista moves this bench here, is she gaining construction? Does that actually count towards her construction skill? I would love to know. Now she's sweating. Okay, let's move the desk back 1 square because now she's just too hot. There's no pleasing some people. All right, we researched tailoring. That's great. That means we can add a tailoring bench to our production line. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna have her build that. That'll be good. We got ourselves a safe. So we're gonna build that. I'm gonna stick it here for now. And we have our first colony trade ship. It's offering us a trade deal. And we have virtually no resources yet to trade, unfortunately. This is day 4. Now that we're harvesting, we have 10 glitter caps. It looks like they're not buying, which I guess was a giveaway when you don't see a price point next to it like these. So unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna make really a profit off of this trade deal here. It's more of like a tease, I feel like, than anything. We're just not ready. We don't have any resources to sell quite yet. Hypothermia 2, oh no. So Krista's coming in to construct, which should set her closer to the fire pit, which is good because we need her to be warm. And then who else? Katina, who's all the way out here. Yeah, we do need tailoring to give ourselves something to craft. And then we're gonna have Paulette over here start crafting it. And I think hats would be great. Everybody would kind of benefit a little bit from some hats. Nobody's wearing any. Krista how's her hypothermia? It looks like it's gone away because the temperature's risen. That's good. We're going to allow her to finish this research over here because then we can start farming this, you know, and actually get into the actual farming side of the business. And I do really love that view. I think it's such a lovely experience, although I'm a little concerned in this moment about like how we completely lack defense. We really need some defenses right now. And we really just don't have the skill to do that. So I hope that our mobs are really small in the beginning, I guess. And I'm gonna also kind of double a 2-layer fence, if you will. There we go, because I do want this to be 2 layers. And then let's grab ourselves a door. Yeah, we're gonna stick these doors right here. Discovery grain cob. Yes, now we're cooking. Well, not technically, we're not cooking yet, but we have the potential to start cooking. There's a dog here. Hello, dog. Send somebody over there to observe this dog. Yes, that would be lovely to have a dog already. How fun. We need a small drying rack, so let's get on that. There. I did not build, shame on me. I did not build one of these. We need that, a lightning rod. Hello, yes, important. We need to stay safe and not die. So I'm gonna interrupt Krista one more time to insist she construct the lightning rod first. And secondly, the scrap metal drying rack, because I do want us to tame a dog, but to do that we will need to get ourselves some dried meats. Before the fence is even complete, we have ourselves a very scary situation here. Somebody else can construct our drying rack because I need Krista to work on the fence again. We're going to freeze constructing the outer layer until the inner layer is done. And what is Paulette doing? She's observing dog, right. And what about these aggressive animals? They're over here just butchering all these other creatures that coincidentally are gonna actually work out for us because we're gonna then dry the meat and tame the dog. We've discovered the boxer. So I think what we'll try to do is tame this dog, but we're first gonna need the meat to do the taming. So let's just not lose sight of where he is for the time being. She cannot be going to sleep right now. Sorry, but you absolutely must do this. It's gotta get done first. I'm gonna keep a close eye on Krista until this is finished constructing. I gotta make sure she constructs all the way around before she tries to nod off again. Otherwise, we're gonna find ourselves in a predicament. Namely being that we'll be under attack and there's gonna be nothing keeping the Scarabee at bay. And it's so sad that like this low quality fence is the best we can do right now because her skills are just not there to do better. Okay, last. And oh my goodness, so we're under attack now, and she's just now finishing that last piece of the fence. So we really kind of lucked out there. So we're gonna, oh my goodness. Okay, I need her here. And then we're gonna draft Katina to stand next to her, and then Krista, we're gonna draft to stand next to Paulette on the other side. Because if they come at the fence and through the fence here, we're stabbing them. It's a shame. I should have now, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I should have laid traps, but I didn't. This is gonna be ugly. This is gonna be a bloodbath, you guys. I'm sorry in advance. And we are playing on hard mode, so it's not the worst thing ever, but it's definitely not gonna be the easiest fight of our lives. And for sure, with these shoddy defenses, it's not gonna go over easily either. All right, what are we? Oh, and they're already in, just like that. They're already in. I need her to keep shooting though. So ladies, defend your sister who's got the gun so that she doesn't have to use a knife. Or she can still keep doing this, that's fine. I guess we're just gonna tough it out this way. The kill circle. Is that like, what movie is that from? Form a kill circle. They have their own little kill circle here. And that is how we're going to handle this first mob. 2 animals left attacking. 1, and that's it. Okay, so that's not the worst. Like I said, it's not the worst, but certainly we knew that fence was coming down. That was not going to keep them out for long. It was literally just like a delay, right? We just set ourselves a little delay. And that reminds me too, before we butcher these things, let's go in here to the restrictions real quick and just uncheck raw foods. All right, and now that we're looking at this, we definitely need to undraft Krista and have her heal herself before anybody else because she's our healer. Unfortunately, she's just gonna have to suck it up and heal herself and then tend to her sisters after the fact. That said, I do want to make sure that we are queuing the butchering of this animal so that we can also tame the dog down the road. And who was it that we had other than Katina that had a little bit of healing power? Paulette is a little interested in healing. Krista, not at all. So Paulette, heal herself, and when Katina's done healing herself, she'll work on Krista, but these are the plans. And Paulette just reached healing too, so she wasn't that far away from a skill jump. If only Krista was that close to a level 2 in construction, So metal refinement, injuries, destroyed structures, even more hypothermia, of course, but that's why we need Paulette to start doing some tailoring for us as soon as we research our available fabrics. Once we get those into our research queue, we'll be able to set Paulette to work on crafting, which will really show, I think, her value that she's bringing to this outpost and really just improve people's opinions of her character. Right now, this is the beginning of what will hopefully be a very successful enterprise, because we are going to get into the weeds of these girls' stories and relationships and growth as individuals when it comes to their skill sets and the value that they're going to bring as they try to run a business together, the three of them. Is that enough? Is that going to be enough? We shall see. Thank you for joining me for the kickoff of this playthrough. And if you haven't already, check out my other videos, because I have 2 other playthroughs running alongside of this one, as well as a couple of seeds videos for you. So if you enjoy this game, if you enjoyed this playthrough, check out those other videos, and I will see you next time. Bye.